Happy New Year! Welcome back to another episode of Hoop Sense. I'm your host, Trey Edwards.
And I'm Mike Zakarian. New year, new Hoop Sense.
Man, hopefully some common sense. Man, what's going on? How you doing?
Good, man. Last time we were here was right before Vegas, right before I went out for the NBA Cup, which was a blast.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, it was like some ugly basketball, but that's what playoff basketball typically is, right? Where it's a lot of defense, missed shots, but close games. It was fun.
Yeah, I had a great NBA Christmas.
Yeah?
Yeah. I thought the games were great. You know, Wemby almost a 50 ball. Suns win. You know, like, I honestly, I thought NBA held its own against the NFL.
Yeah, and LeBron, Steph, like dialing it up again
Yes.
for the holidays. That was fun. Yeah, all the games were great. It was fun for Wemby to start like the day, right?
Yeah.
So like even if you weren't sure, am I going to tune into hoops today? Like if you were on social media at all or like checking anything, you see Wemby's just going nuts right away. So that kind of set us off for a good day. It was fun basketball.
We also got Wemby and, you know, playing chess.
Yeah. That was cool, man. Anytime I'm like, has New York, have I been here too long that I don't feel like the magic of it anymore? Something like that happens where Wemby's just like, hey, I'm going to go outside in the park and play chess.
I had a 2025 prediction on Off Ball News that came out today. And it said, what could fix the NBA ratings?
Yeah.
Wemby.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to keep doing stuff like this, like that's always a good check mark of someone who's ascending to like superstardom level is doing it at MSG. You know, like I always think about Steph dropping 50 in the Garden, or just anybody popping off in MSG is usually the sign of great things to come. And Wemby doing it on Christmas, yeah. I'm with you. I like that take. Yeah, because you mentioned, I saw that quote. You mentioned like Caitlin Clark in the W, and then also Shohei with the MLB. Yeah, I like that. It's a good take.
Single superstars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think the face of the leagues.
Yeah.
You know, and that matters.
Yeah, and he seems like he's got like the right charisma and the right attitude to be somebody who takes over, and he's like takes over the league in that kind of way. I know Ant-Man is also like that because he's got insane charisma and he's got incredible quotes. And Wemby's maybe not as funny, I guess I would say, as Ant-Man.
Yeah,
but he's got a dog, like that competitive dog in him.
I will say this: he's just a larger than life figure, which isn't as relatable.
Right.
You know, we got tall humans that are the same height as Anthony Edwards.
Right.
You know, and not saying that what normal humans could do, what he can do, but when you see Wemby at 7'3", shooting threes, dunking without jumping, blocking shots, scoring, you know, there's just that supernatural draw.
Yeah.
And it's just great. You know what I mean? For all ages.
Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying too about Ant, because I don't know how many kids are like watching what Wemby's doing and being like, someday I can do that. You're like, I'm not 7'3". But Ant-Man, you're like, okay, sure.
It's genuinely a physical trait that he possesses that just makes it look like a superpower.
It is, man, and it's so cool. Like, he'll do a couple of things every game. But I was watching the Spurs play the other night. I forget who they were going against. And a rebound kind of like comes out to Wemby, and he just so casually like grabs with one hand and just like immediately puts it between his legs and then like resets at the top of the key. And I'm like, man, that was like a 5'7" guy doing something like that. You know what I mean? Like the handle that he has for as big as he is, it's just wild.
Yeah. Shout out Wemby.
Yeah.
Speaking of shout outs, it's time for shout outs. Jaden Ivy, man.
That sucked. He's been playing so well. The Detroit themselves have been playing well. And like, you know, it's a bad injury when both teams are kind of surrounding the guy. And so, I don't know, man. I hope he gets well soon. Like, I think they announced it was like a broken fibula. Yeah. So, I mean, clearly he's done.
I didn't want to, you know, it looked pretty bad. I knew it wasn't anything to do with the knee. It was very like lower leg.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because he was playing really well for them. And hopefully Cole Anthony, who was, you know, a part of that, that collision, doesn't take it too hard and feel, you know, like as if, you know, he had some blame for it.
That's a freak thing.
Yeah.
It was a freak thing. That stuff happens sometimes. So
I will say, man, as we get to the point of like this current state of basketball, I understand hustle plays, but the dive, I've seen way too many injuries to it. You know what I mean? To that point, especially if everyone's not diving.
Right. The second you started saying that, I was just like, oh yeah, you're about to turn 40. Like that's because that's how I feel every time. I'm like, why are we diving? We don't need to dive.
Yeah.
No need to take charge.
Yeah.
Let's nobody get hurt.
Yeah, let's treat this like older men hooping.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
know what I mean? Certain plays just shouldn't happen.
Yeah, we don't need.
But I'm not going to police it. It's a part of the game. Freak accidents happen. Get well soon, Jaden Ivy.
Yeah.
Cole Anthony. It's not your fault. Yeah. IQ is back. Not basketball IQ, but Emanuel Quickley.
Emanuel Quickley is back, and good Lord, Toronto needed any sort of good news, just like good vibes, because they are going to lose a lot of games this year. I wouldn't say they're losing on purpose, but they're not mad at it. I don't think they're going to be mad at a draft pick that they're going to get for this year.
Yeah.
But I'd much rather them lose in like a fun way, and I think Emanuel Quickley coming back onto the court is good for them. Is good for them.
He rained on D'Lo's parade. D'Lo had such a great game off the bench.
Yeah.
Looks free. Looks like he's having fun out there. The Montverde Nets.
Yeah.
It's 4 guys from that high school on that
really
team.
4?
Yes.
You know, shout out D'Lo too, man. I don't think like we talk enough about the amount of like mental stress he's probably had to deal with the last couple of years from like start to finish of an NBA season. He's constantly in trade talks and was just like a comfortable scapegoat for a lot of Lakers discourse. And so like I'm sure there must be some sort of relief to just come back to Brooklyn, fresh start. I mean, the last time he was playing basketball here, he was playing great ball.
Yeah.
And then you're right. Yeah, he came off the bench and like immediately started cooking in the first half last night. So yeah, shouts to D'Lo. I hope he feels good.
It takes a special type of player to play with LeBron James.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be able to shoot the ball, and you also have to be able to be okay with playing without the basketball. There's going to be a lot of idle standing for him to create, especially for point guard. So you're already out of position.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because he's doing majority of the ball handling and controlling of the offense. And again, certain people thrive. Mo Williams have thrived off of it. Kyrie Irving has thrived off of it. So there's not all a negative.
No.
But there's a certain gravity.
And I mean, similar to D'Lo, we're seeing like Russell Westbrook finding himself right now in Denver, and like he's been so fun to watch, right?
Yeah.
Or whether he's starting because Denver's been a little thinned out with Aaron Gordon injury, or coming off the bench, like him and Jokic are playing so well together. So yeah, another guy who maybe wasn't the right fit next to LeBron, but you put him where he can be on ball a little bit more, and then all of a sudden, bang, makes a little more sense.
Speaking of LeBron joins the 40 Club.
Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome to the 40 Club.
The 40 Club. You got there last month.
Yeah. You're
And
right around the corner.
I'll be there next week.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, how LeBron said, he gave a quote saying that he could possibly play 5 to 7 more years at a high level.
I mean, that's maybe if he also institutes the rule that we started talking about with no diving.
Yes.
Like you're gonna eliminate some of that stuff. Yes. I mean, listen, man, I'm not gonna start counting them out now. Like there was a funny tweet on his birthday going around.
Yeah, Urkel.
What was it?
Urkel said, LeBron's 30, he can't keep this up.
That's right.
And now it's the 10-year anniversary of that, and he's still doing it.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be me that says it's time. And it's not like I can relate personally to doing anything at that level. So it's not.
I mean, what he's doing at 40 right now is just remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say anything negative about it. But for 5 to 7,
that's great.
I look at it like this. I do think that he could play 3 at a high level just because he doesn't stop and he continues to work on his body.
Right.
But the mental.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And he's only going to get more grumpier. And he's not going to understand. I don't think he can handle losing basketball games. And that's going to happen.
Losing basketball games. And I also wonder, like, the mental shift of him slowly not being the best player on the floor.
That too.
And not that all of a sudden he's going to be like a 9th man or anything like that. But, you get it.
I think if LeBron James played 5 more seasons, he could average 15 points a game.
Yeah.
High volume, 15 points.
Yeah.
Heavy usage. I think his minutes would be drastically down, you know.
I mean, he can't be 45.
What is he making at that particular time? He got to cost a lot.
Right? Yeah, so do you think does he start signing like just 1-year deals? Like he almost
and just drag it out?
Yeah, he just like Brett Favre's it. Like we kind of.
I mean, his son did sign with Arizona yesterday.
That's true.
I mean, anything is possible.
He's just gonna like a starting 5 of the James.
I mean, it's our. something about the 23rd season. He might have something going on there.
I like that take too. That's fun.
Play as long as his number.
Yeah.
NBA All-Stars around the corner. We got a month. I wanted to start a little banter.
Okay.
Get the people going. Let's start with the Eastern Conference and let me know if you agree with this. I have the Cavs getting 3 in.
3?
3.
Ooh, I like that.
So I have Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
I have Darius Garland.
Okay.
And Evan Mobley.
Yeah, I was wondering about this yesterday because the Cavs have been so freaking dominant, and like you kind of like take your eye off them for a little bit, and then it's like, oh no, they've just beaten 4 teams in a row by like an average of 25 points. Like they're just killing people. But I was like, how many All-Stars do they actually get in? Because I think Donovan for sure. Donovan gets in. I think Mobley probably deserves to get in. I wonder, Garland I feel like is on the line for me.
So maybe Jared Allen?
Maybe Jared Allen.
I still think they get 3 though.
You think they get 3?
Yeah.
So is it 16?
Weisberg chimed in. He wanted to be a homer.
Yeah.
And he was like, Boston was on the same pace as this, and they didn't get 3. And I'm like, the Derek White thing was cool.
Yeah.
Again, fun.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of players that were playing extremely better. And it would have been, quote unquote, a disservice to, the other players that were like on the bubble that got in. That if they would have got Derek White. If Derek White's averaging 20, I'm not fighting it.
Right.
But a little under, I got 3 guys like almost at 20.
Yeah, I could. So I definitely see Donovan, and I do think Mobley, just because of how important he is defensively for that team too. Garland, I do think is on the cusp. I almost kind of need to like hear all of the as we go through some of the other guards.
Okay.
Because I think we're gonna see some like first time guys.
And we can edit. We can edit as we go. We can edit. Right now, I would say for locks 2.
Okay. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Mitchell and Mobley.
Yeah.
So we got 2. Brown and Tatum.
I think so.
Locks.
Yeah.
4. Okay. Towns and Brunson.
Absolutely.
Locks.
Absolutely.
That's 6. Lillard and Antetokounmpo.
Do you think Dame gets in?
I think Dame gets in.
You think he gets in? Yeah.
I think he gets the veteran shoe.
Yeah. And people like clicking that name.
Like the coaches.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. Dame is in the Garland level for me right now.
Okay, he's on the bubble. So we'll say Giannis is a lock. So we got 7. Tyler Herro.
Yeah, to me, he's a lock. Tyler Herro has been
a lock to me.
Awesome.
Okay.
He's been awesome.
Okay, so we got 8. Trae Young and Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, I don't think Atlanta can get 2 guys in.
Okay.
I just don't think it'll happen. I would love Jalen Johnson to make.
Okay, Jalen Johnson's on the bubble.
Yeah, but I think Trae gets in. Trae needs to get in. I have been not a Trae hater, but I wouldn't say I was a Trae fan. He's winning me over, man.
All right, that's at 9.
Okay.
Cade Cunningham.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Lock for me.
Okay, 10. Joel Embiid.
Nah.
You think he misses it?
Yeah, I mean, he's played like 9 games, I think.
No, he got way more games than 9.
No,
but we got a whole month.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. We have
and they're winning.
They are winning. They had a bad one last night, but they are winning. Yeah, all right, fine, man, fine.
You got to think about these guys that are consecutive All-Stars.
Yeah.
You know how politics work.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of like who the other bigs are in the East too, besides
We
like
haven't said many.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. I'm sorry, Philly.
Okay, 10. Lonzo Ball.
LaMelo or Lonzo?
I mean, sorry, LaMelo.
I was like, let's get Lonzo in there.
I would love Lonzo.
No, I don't think LaMelo's going to end up getting there. I know LaMelo's put up some like crazy numbers, but I don't think it happened.
No fan votes?
I think even the fans are like, come on, man.
Okay. All right.
But I mean, like, no disrespect to LaMelo. He's putting up big numbers when he's out there.
All right, so we're at 11. That goes back to Garland or Lillard.
Yeah, well, are we not missing anybody else?
Nope.
I'm trying to think.
Everybody's at the bottom.
Yeah. All right, yeah, then Dame and Garland. Come on down.
All right. There we go. We have our Eastern Conference.
There you go, yeah.
All right, for the West, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh, my God, yeah. Shai's a monster.
He's the MVP right now.
He really is, which is crazy because of the numbers Jokic is putting up, too.
He should have been. Look, he should have been MVP last year.
You think so?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
That's spicy.
All right, what about J-Dub?
Yeah. I think
Jalen Williams.
Yeah, I think Jalen Williams. Let's put him in the
On the bubble.
Darius Garland will come back to it. I would love for him.
22 a game, by the way.
Yeah,
on the number 1 team.
Second best player on the number 1 team right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he's probably going to get in. I just need to hear the name.
Okay. So we got one. John Morant. Second in the West.
Yeah, second in the West, and when he's out there, he's great.
He's gonna get voted, man.
Yeah,
what
I
we
think
doing,
so.
Mike? He's gonna get voted.
Yeah, you're right.
2. Alfred Sengun.
So I'm interested because wouldn't it be nuts if Houston didn't get an All-Star in for being like a second, third seed team in the West? I think Şengün's he's their only shot at getting one in there.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's probably on the cusp.
Okay.
What do you think you got him locked?
I got him as a lock.
Lock? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He probably is. I'm trying to think of the other bigs too, where it's like you got Jokic will get to, Sabonis. Like, yeah, he probably gets in.
All right. So we're at 3. Jokic.
Yeah, for sure.
4 lock.
Even though he probably doesn't.
Luka's gonna miss a month. So Kyrie Irving.
Oh man,
Kyrie's averaging 24.
I know. I was just. I was watching.
You don't think Dallas gets anyone?
No. I wonder if they vote Luka in though, and then he ends up not playing.
All right, we put asterisk.
Yeah.
He's going to get voted in.
And Kyrie probably gets votes too. I actually Kyrie's had kind of a weird season. I feel like he either has monster numbers in the game or just kind of sits that one out. Like he was kind of rough last night in that Dallas game.
He has a huge fan base over there.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So, I mean, I don't know. But
yeah.
Luka, we'll put asterisk.
Yeah.
So, I'll count it 5. Norman Powell.
Let's get Norman in there, man.
Get Norman in. Do the right thing, coaches.
At the very least, let's get him in the 3-point.
Do the right thing. He's he needs an all-star. He's killing.
Do you think so? I don't think the Clippers get 2 guys.
No, James Harden's not even in conversation.
You don't think so?
No.
I
love you, James, but no.
I feel like James had
great shoes, by the way. He got the best basketball shoes out right now.
Harden does?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I haven't seen him.
Yes.
No. Okay, I think Harden probably gets it over Norman Powell, but I'm on team. He if we had a vote. If we had 20% of the All-Star vote,
I used to have a vote.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, let's get Trey a vote back.
Man, I got to get back into getting the swing of things, man. All right, I'm with Norman Powell, but I'll put him on the bubble.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis and LeBron.
Yeah, they're both getting it.
They're locks. LeBron's a starter. Yeah. Anthony Davis is a reserve.
Yeah.
So that gives us 7. Wemby starting.
You think he just gets voted in?
Easy.
Yeah. I mean,
no question.
We need him.
We don't even have to do this.
Do you think he tries in the All-Star game?
What? Yes.
Okay. Well, no.
He gonna try to get MVP.
Yeah. All right. Good. Then we need that.
Yeah. He's
that.
competitive, man. Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. We got 9. Steph Curry.
Yeah.
He's gonna probably start because it's in Golden State.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So it's 10.
Yes.
KD and Book.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you could probably make a case against Book right now to not be in an All-Star, but they're
KD starting.
Yeah, KD. KD's been awesome this year. I know Phoenix we'll talk about a little bit later, but KD's been great.
Norman Powell not making it.
Yeah, it's close, man.
If we did that, if we close it off at Book, Norman Powell and Sabonis don't make it.
I mean, though,
Jalen Williams don't make it either.
J-Dub's got to be in there.
Somebody gonna be upset.
If OKC, we're recording this, I think they've won 12 in a row because the Cup Finals doesn't count as a game.
Yeah.
They got to have more than one guy in there, right? I mean, they're rolling over
22 a game.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna get snubbed, man.
It's
a big name.
It's probably J-Dub. Maybe it's
J-Dub and Powell have to be all-stars. Do the right thing, NBA. I love the stars. Reward the guys.
I love this.
Do the right thing. Reward the blue-collar, hard-working guys.
There we go. I like this. This is good. This is if we get Norm, I think we should probably be courtside at All-Star Weekend if Norm gets in.
Listen. Vote for Norm. Vote for Jalen Williams. Let's move on to Team of the Week.
All right, let's do it.
All right, teams of the week. You got the Indiana Pacers on here. Tell me more, because
Okay.
I do not have them on my teams of the week.
All right, here's the thing. The Pacers have been on our 30-second timeout. I think they're leading the Hoop Sense pod.
Okay.
Yeah. And they honestly, since the last time we've recorded, they've been playing a little bit better. I believe they're 6-4 in their last 10, which you don't write home about being 2 games over 500 in their last 10. But they took it to Boston. They beat the Celtics. I know this is giving them a moral victory, but they lost a really close game against OKC. But there was they were battling. And I think the difference right now is they are playing defense a little bit more. And the offense still seems a little bit clunky. But if you show me a team that's defending, that's like an effort thing, right? And it seems like they feel a little bit more bought in than maybe a month ago when we were last talking about them. So I just, we're not putting the Pacers on like the gold medal on the podium, but the basketball has been a lot better than what it's been in the last like first couple months of the season.
If this was the NFC playoffs, wins over Boston, Suns, Sacramento, Sixers in that stretch would have got them in the playoffs.
Right.
But this is NBA basketball.
I know.
And we're 35 games in. So good for you, Indiana, for turning it around. We hope that you guys stay out of our 30-second timeout.
Yeah.
And more on the team of the week. But that...
This is more of a...
Yeah, I don't know. 76ers are worth mentioning.
Yes.
8-2 in their last 10. 4-game winning streak, which ended last night. And they're finally getting healthy after all those injuries. They started off rough.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't stay healthy. And now, like, Maxi's been playing awesome. And interesting thing with Maxey last season is that when he was actually a much better player or more efficient player with Embiid on the court, which makes a ton of sense, right? But even like last night and a couple of games that Embiid has missed recently, Maxey has continued to just perform at a very, very high level. And if they're going to get that like consistent type of play from him, I think that's important, obviously. But like now the role players are playing a little bit better too. Like Caleb Martin strung together a couple of games. I mean, you look at that Christmas Day game against Boston.
Oh, he went crazy.
He went crazy. Yabusele went crazy. Like everybody was playing really good ball for them. Yeah, it's good to see. Like as fun as it is sometimes to just see the internet melt down when Philly melts down, it's better. That game against the Kings last night was rough. Like I don't think they scored the last like 3 minutes.
That's
of the
pretty
game.
Gross.
They just gave. I mean, Paul George just like physically handing the ball over to the other team a handful of times. And I mean, no one needed to win more than Sacramento, so like I'm, happy for them, I guess, that they got one. But yeah, no, Philly, you're right. Philly deserves to be on there, and they're just going to keep climbing up that Eastern Conference standings too.
Okay, Clippers still hanging on to the top 6 spot without Kawhi Leonard. Norman Powell, and James Harden. Those two, been great.
And Zubac too, like the big
Chris Dunn.
Yeah. And they try, man. They play defense. I know they lost a crazy one to the Spurs, where the Spurs just like ran away with it the other night. But yeah, I mean, listen, I was so out on the Clippers heading into this season when I looked at the rest of the Western Conference. So the fact that they're still fighting where they are, and Kawhi supposedly coming back in the next couple of games, most likely. I mean, man, even if you just like replacement level, right? You bring Kawhi in, and it's less minutes for some of the other rotation guys.
Yeah,
I mean they're feisty. I mean, and you look at the teams ahead of them. Yes, OKC's been a juggernaut, but then I mean, I don't know. They could compete with all of those teams, with the Rockets, the Grizz, the Nuggets.
I think they're finally going to match Kawhi's intensity, and we're going to be honest. And I keep saying it, Norman Powell. He is who we thought Paul George was going to be for the Clippers.
Man,
that's an educational take for you.
Man, I can already see myself cutting this up into the short.
Hey, I'm with it. Listen, I love PG.
Yeah.
I think PG's great. He's, I'll get to him, talking about him on a 30-second timeout, but it's just, it hasn't been great. It hasn't been great. I mean, again, all-star, great resume, has made a ton of money in this league, still trying to figure himself out in Philly. It's, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, but back to the Clippers, I think like they got their identity now.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing.
And that matters. That matters a lot. You can't just roll the ball out and say, all right, like, yo, go play basketball just because we have names.
Right.
Like, you actually have to compete night in, night out in this league. Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. I mean, the West is tough, and for them to still be top 6 right now, like this, I mean, we're past Christmas now, and they're still top 6.
How about the Knicks?
Dude, man.
9-game win streak, 24-10, 9-1 in their last 10.
And by the time this goes up, they might be second in the East.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, early in the season, before it started, right after they got the Karl Anthony Towns trade done, I said, this trade will swing and make them a top 5 team in the NBA, not just the East. And some people laughed at me, and they're like, you're just being recency bias. I knew it. I seen it. I don't want to be one of those dudes that just makes it seem like it's a prediction and things like that. But you got a mature Karl Anthony Towns. Mm-hmm. You got it's low pressure.
Yeah.
It's low pressure when you think about the leadership of Jalen Brunson. You got Karl Anthony Towns going out doing what he does. He's actually making a better effort at defense, trying his best. Mikal Bridges not having to have so much pressure. I told you, the greatest third option.
I mean, the shot's falling now, too, for him a little bit more.
Again, when you can walk in and just say, hey, if it was easy, Paul George would be thriving right now. That third option, you have to be okay with sometimes having a good game, but you have to be solid at being a third.
Absolutely.
And everybody isn't okay with being a third in an ego-driven NBA. So, Mikal Bridges, you're the best at that.
I mean, Karl Anthony Towns is just incredible. Like, so last night they beat Utah, and I think it was Will Hardy, the coach of the Jazz, after the game even said something like Karl Anthony Towns' threes are so much bigger than you think they are, where he knocks a couple down, and then you're like, oh my God, Cat is killing us from the outside. And then you looked at it, the stats at the end of the game, he actually I think he went like 3 for 9 from 3 or something like that, but still finished with 31 points.
Yeah.
So it's like the threat of the 3 from that big opens up so many things for everybody else on the team. Also, Josh Hart putting out some like Russell Westbrook type numbers right now with these like triple doubles. He's just doing everything for that team. And then another shout out to Tyler Kolek, the rookie.
Yep.
I believe he played 40 minutes yesterday for the G League team.
Yep.
And then Jalen Brunson gets ruled out, so they call him up. And then Deuce McBride also doesn't play. And then he goes out there and plays, I think, like 12 or 15 minutes for the Knicks. So he logged like 52 minutes last night.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
You got to make it happen and stay ready.
Yeah.
I want to shout out Mark Bryant, too. He's been super instrumental to Karl Anthony Towns and just being a better player.
Yeah.
And sometimes assistant coaches don't get shouted out that much, but he's been super effective for them.
Yeah, and I think like the vibes of that team are just like contagious. Like you can just tell they like playing with each other. They're having fun.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be thrilled to play them in the playoffs. Like I know defensively they still got to figure some stuff out, but man, you just have a lot of talent right there, and they're like their top 5 you can match up with almost any other 5 in the league.
Yeah, for sure. OKC Thunder. My friend Sarah said, you better talk about the Thunder, show them love. You know, she's the #1 Thunder fan when they're bad, when they're good.
Yeah. And
she feels the national media isn't talking about them enough. I do consider us national media.
Okay, you know? I like it.
Welcome to the club, Mike. I'm knighting you on national media. Thunder, 12-game win streak, 27-5, 10-0 in their last 10.
Yeah. I mean, the most impressive thing to me about OKC, and I know you've got somebody you want to talk about later, they just like roll guys out who immediately impact their team. Like one night it's Aaron Wiggins, the next night it's Isaiah Joe. They've got Alex Caruso, Cason Wallace. Like they've just got so many guys that can compete at a high level on the defensive end, and then just like randomly knock down 3 or 4 threes. And Shea's incredible. Shea is so much fun right now, and I'm with you. I think he's leading the. I mean, that's not a hot take to be like he's the front runner for MVP right now, but they just keep beating everybody. And I think you had like Ant-Man's quote down there too after that game against Minnesota, where just knighting him the MVP right now. It's like he's unguardable, I believe he said.
D'Angelo Russell made a great point after being acquired by the Brooklyn Nets. He said teams that are assembled like college teams have more success, and OKC is one of them. They do everything together. They actually have team camaraderie, and they know who their main guy is. And they also have those role guys that are just super effective and annoying, and they get the job done, and they step in, and they make it like a living hell for teams.
Yeah, and they like talking about what with the Clippers a little bit about like understanding their identity and their roles. Same thing with OKC. Like J-Dub can absolutely take over from time to time, but SGA is their guy. J-Dub's their second banana. You got Hartenstein down low. When Chet comes back, I mean, that's the other thing. They're doing all of this without Chet Holmgren, arguably their second or third best player. Probably would have been an all-star contention if he was still out there. And I mean, they get him back soon. They're they're a tough team.
They're deep.
They are so deep.
They're going to run into a problem, though, where they're going to have to trade somebody sooner or later.
Yeah, I don't know if it's this season.
Not this season.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them in the playoffs. And again, you know, like you were talking about the camaraderie, you know, some people think that it's corny, like some of the stuff that they're doing. And maybe this is me sliding into my 40s, but corny's good. I think corny's okay. I'm not going to be mad at them really liking each other.
Let's rebrand corny this year.
That's right.
We're making corny cool again.
A New Year's resolution.
Well, corny was never cool, but corny is cool now in basketball. Next man up. It is time for next man up, and you have Jalen Wells.
Dude, Memphis, similar to OKC, just seems to find dudes.
Yep.
Memphis has to be one of the unluckiest teams when it comes to injuries. I feel like every night they're down 3 or 4 guys, and they just like throw another guy out there. Jalen Wells, second-round pick, rookie, and has averaging double-digit points right away, and is like filled in and has been great for Memphis, who somehow still like second in the West. They just keep winning games even without their stars. So yeah, shout out to Jalen Wells, man. Just like playing so well that. Oh, that's a terrible pun. Playing so well that he...
Playing so well
that they have to find minutes for him.
Yeah. I mean, 11 a game. You know, he's going to make some threes, at least 2, especially if you're a gambler. You know what I mean? Take the over on that. But like you said, they're still winning ball games, very boneless.
Right.
You look at the injury report, they end up beating Phoenix the other night.
That was crazy. I don't understand how that happened.
Yeah, I do, but that you know, shouts to them. They're well coached and they're well prepared, and they're going to continue to compete. Scotty Pippen Jr. has been great for them.
Oh man, he's so fun. It's just like a good story. He's another one, man. Where like last season, with Memphis being decimated with injuries, he just like played well enough that they're like, oh, we got a guy now. Yeah. We got a guy. And
I mean, there's a lot of guys that are hungry and ready to make a name for themselves. I mean, we've seen it last year with Keon Ellis as well. So, so many guys are going to do it. I want to shout out my guy. He's my guy this year, Cole Anthony.
Yeah.
Game winner versus the Nets. Dropped 35 after losing France. You know, and then obviously last night, you know, unfortunate injury to Jaden Ivy, but you know. Again, staying ready.
Well, this segment called Next Man Up, I mean, that is the embodiment of what Cole Anthony needs to do for Orlando moving forward, too, because they just keep losing dudes.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's good to see Cole. And I know he was such an important part of that team in years past, and then, like, he had to take a little bit of a backseat this season. Yep. So to see him, when given the opportunity, thrive in it, you love to see that.
Yeah, Suggs said that his body's hurting a little bit more because I could see him sit down some games. So Cole Anthony will be relied on.
Absolutely.
Cam Whitmore.
Dude, Cam Whitmore's back.
Cam Whitmore is back in the rotation. He's averaging 14 and 18 minutes in his last 4 games.
Yeah.
Not sure. I mean, he's in good grace with Ime right now. He must be defending, but also, you know, he's frustrated.
Yeah.
So
well, and I think Tyree Eason going down and missing some time. Again, like we were saying, you got to stay ready when you're given the opportunity.
Yep.
To take advantage of it, and that's what he's doing. And again, like you with Ime, as long as you're defending, you'll get more opportunities. And like Cam's out there, he's trying. He's a lot of effort. I mean, that whole Houston team, again, like whoever you roll out there is defending their asses off.
Yeah, you don't play defense, you don't play. AJ Mitchell is averaging 13 points per game, 4.8 rebounds, 2.8 assists per game in 22 minutes.
Again, OKC, man. They just like whoever they go find and put out there is gonna have games. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, again, they are the epitome of next man up. Them in Memphis.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
The poster teams for our team, for that category.
I remember like the first couple of times I saw him like get a rotation, and I was like, I'd never heard of this man. I was not familiar with his game. I hadn't seen him play. And then of course I'm like, who is this guy on OKC cooking immediately? And it's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who
I'm sure people watching right now this episode is going to have to Google who AJ is. Because they don't watch enough. That's the thing. They don't watch every team.
Right.
They watch who plays their team. Well, you got to watch basketball. If you truly like, I should not have to beg you to watch basketball. If you like basketball, how you like basketball, I watch bad games. I watch good games. I watch college basketball. I watch women's basketball. I watch little kids basketball because I like basketball. And that's what it is.
There we go. That's the tagline for the show.
I like basketball. So, hot hand. Jordan Poole.
Woo!
I didn't think I would be saying Jordan Poole's name all season. And man, he's hot.
He's playing great.
Averaging 27.8 over his last 5 games with the Wizards, winning the last 3 of 5.
Man, they took like a full month off from winning basketball and then rattled 3 out of 5.
I'm going to just honorable mention Alex Sarr. Turned it around. Points per game is up. Rebounds is up. He's figuring out the NBA game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Want to shout out him. But Jordan Poole playing great. Still taking some crazy shots. But they're going in.
They're going in, yeah. No, it's good to see. I think, like, you know, it's fun to dunk on people occasionally. That went like too hard last year for too long. The vibes were uncomfortable. You know, like I want Poole playing good basketball. He's fun. He's fun when he's hot, man.
Who doesn't love a pool party?
That's right. We love a pool party.
We love a pool party.
Also, Jonas Valanciunas is only playing like 18 minutes a game. Like they're like, hey, we don't want to be winning too much. We can't play you too much. We need the young guys out there. I'm excited to see where he lands because he comes in and just like
he's smart. He's smart. He's like the guy that leaves the job, makes the money, and knows that he's going to end up in a better job.
That's right.
Like that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's using the Washington Wizards just to make the money. I think it was 3 for 30.
Yeah.
10 a year. And then he's going to end up on the Lakers.
He'll be on a competitive team, still getting paid. And he seems like he's being a good teammate, too.
Oh,
like,
I'm pretty sure he's the best.
Yeah, every time they cut to the bench, he's up clapping, coaching Alex Sarr along. I was like, man, shout out Valanciunas.
Yeah, he gets it. Trey Murphy III, 22.4 points per game, 51.5 from the field, 42.2 from the 3, 93 from the free throw, had 34 in the last night's loss to Miami.
I'll be honest, when Ingram goes down and Zion goes down, I'm looking at the Pelicans roster, I'm like, oh, DeJounte's about to put up big numbers.
Yep.
CJ's about to put up big numbers. And honestly, it's been Trey.
Yeah.
He has been their only bright spot in the Pelicans right now. So shout out to Trey, he's been awesome. I just feel bad that they have 5 wins this year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, I hope that Willie Green can survive this and make it throughout the season without getting the axe. But then I know that they're trying to find a home for Ingram. I know they've been, making C.J. McCollum available. I've heard, that NBA execs are checking for Zion Williamson's situation to potentially get him up out of there. So there's so many. I think this team is going to be gutted in February. So. But, I hope those guys end up somewhere. And Trey Murphy, you're going to stay put, and you're going to do great things for the Pelicans. But continue to play well. It is not being overlooked. We shouted you out today in the hot hand.
The national media shouted you out.
The national media. You know what I mean? The new media. Right? Shout out to Draymond Green. Speaking of the Warriors, Jonathan Kuminga, 27 points per game, 8.3 rebounds, 3 assists per game in his last 4. Had a really good game guarding Durant and played well on both ends versus the Suns. Like, Kuminga, I don't know if it's immaturity. I don't know what's going on, but he's moving in the right direction so far. I know they still haven't extended him, gave him an extension and things of that nature. I don't know if he goes on the move, but he's playing really well and very receptive.
Yeah, I mean, to me, honestly, the recent performance feels like Golden State putting a shiny for sale sign out and just being like, what can we get? Which is kind of weird because the way he's playing right now, that is what Golden State needs. Yeah. And I don't know if just relationships can't be mended between like the front office, coaching, and Kuminga, if that's like part of it. But man, when he's on, you really are like, that's what the Warriors need. Somebody that can be a scorer next to Steph, who can also defend.
Yep.
Honestly, playing like a higher level of what Andrew Wiggins did a few years ago. I just don't know if like too much has happened, if there's like too much history between the organization and him, that they're just kind of like, we need another name to come in.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they're just, they're getting impatient with the development. Same thing with Brandon Potts, and I mean, you can go down the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just thinking about guys that you thought were going to replace a Klay Thompson,
right,
or whoever else they traded off.
I want more Moses Moody minutes. I feel like every time he's out there, he balls. And obviously Steve Kerr knows more ball than I do, but I want more Moses Moody.
I wanted him to have a Deuce McBride success.
Yes.
Yeah. I want him to be the West Coast Deuce McBride.
Right. And if Podziemski's not doing what you thought he was going to do, and I don't know. I mean, just Buddy's cooled off a little bit.
Yeah.
Just give Moses a little run.
Yeah. Jamal Murray, he's back to his old self. He's averaging 23, 6 and 4 per game over his last 10. Good to see that, man.
I know. He's got a little bit more bounce too. Like he's moving in a healthy.
I mean, he's always been dealing with health issues. You know what I mean? Like, if he's not playing against the Lakers, we don't know what's going on sometimes. And, it's pretty good to see him playing extremely well. I wish it was just consistent enough to have him in All-Star conversation.
I know. This is it feels like every October we're like, this is the year we get Jamal into the All-Star game. Because like when he's, playoff Jamal is an all-star. Yeah. He's an all-NBA guy when it's playoff Jamal.
Yeah.
But we just haven't seen it. We haven't just seen him stay healthy enough. But I think, man, they needed it so badly. Denver was just kind of in this weird spot, and now they're like top 4 in the West, which surprised me when I saw that, because it feels like they're playing 500 basketball. But they now have, like, even without Aaron Gordon, like Michael Porter Jr. is knocking down more shots since being put in trade rumors. Yep. Russ, again, we shouted him out a little bit earlier. Yep. And I think all of that helps Jamal too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think having Russell Westbrook there and saying this out loud in 2025 has been great, because it allows him to take a game off and rest and get his body and do the right things that he's supposed to do. And who else could get Russell Westbrook more motivated than Mike Malone?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it isn't trying to change a Russell Westbrook. No. Even when fans are loud and complaining, he's saying we're sticking with this guy. He's a true professional, plays hard, and he's been rewarded for it this season.
He seems like he's having a great time too.
Yeah.
Like Russell seems very happy in the situation that he's in right now. And honestly, I just feel like that it must just be nice playing with Nikola Jokic too.
Of course.
You're like the best player in the world who also doesn't really want the ball and take the shots. I mean, that's beautiful.
I mean, at the end of the day, Russ just wants to win. So that's all that matters.
Yeah. And it does seem, you mentioned Michael Malone, it does seem like that's the perfect coach for Russ too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at this part of his career, absolutely, because people scream percentages and, his decision-making and things like that. And, you want somebody to play hard. That's the ideal guy coming off the bench. You know what I mean? Like, and this guy's doing it at 35, 36 years old.
Perfect.
Well into his 16, 17 year.
Yeah. And especially with how like thin that bench is. I mean, they needed anything. So
and he's a great vet.
Yeah,
he's a great vet. Peyton Watson loves him. George, Strother, and you can go down the line. Cade Cunningham, 24, 9, 6, and has the Detroit Pistons in the 9th seed.
Yo, Pistons.
They're climbing.
I saw that stat this morning. They already have more wins than they did last season.
They passed that already.
That's crazy. Yeah, dude, shout out Cade, man. I think everybody was waiting for Cade, and then people were slowly jumping off the ship. And Detroit's playing good basketball. Bickerstaff has that team like locked in. The Ivy injury obviously sucks. So I'm hoping Malik Beasley's going to get some more shots up. I'm sure Tim Hardaway Jr. But man, Cade, all-star lock.
All-star lock. All-star Cade Cunningham. Let's just say it with me. All-star Cade Cunningham. You are stamped, brother. 30-second timeout. I hate to be doing this right now. You have the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
Tell me more, because I've been pushing back. Kevin O'Connor said, hey, we potentially get trades. No. I'm saying injuries. You had Durant go down, Brad Bill's out again, Devin Booker just got back from an injury. Nurkic is out, through the altercation. they don't have much to work with.
No, I mean, even like Grayson Allen was missing some time too.
Yep.
And to be clear, my 30-second timeout isn't blow up the Phoenix Suns. Because we were here a month ago, and I was like, they're my dark horse team.
Yes.
No, they just can't stay healthy. That loss against Memphis, though, hopefully that loss, they like talk to themselves in the locker room a little bit. We got to put an end to this, because I know Memphis is a tough team. I know we just gave them a ton of praise for just having the next guy come out and ball out immediately. Yep. But I mean, you can't lose that game at home. Like, you can't. They started that game healthy. I know. I think Book or Beal left that game halfway through. Yeah. I know they just got Book back. He's not 100% yet. So I'm not saying blow it up, but this is we take a timeout.
Yeah.
And let's get it together.
It's a great call out. 3-7 their last 10. And then, like you said, that Grizzly loss is one of those look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Right.
Let's figure this out.
And KD's too good.
Yeah.
I need.
Well, let's just not waste KD's good.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, he's 36.
Yeah.
The best 36-year-old in the game at this moment.
Yeah.
Playing still at a high level.
Dude, he's incredible.
And again, we don't want any trades. We want him to stay there. But
that trade stuff was crazy. I saw that going around too. Like, oh, Houston's going to be lining up for these.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, we're not there. We're not there yet.
I mean, like, again, it's a long season.
Yeah.
35 games in.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out. The Sacramento Kings. Now, before we put this down, I mean, there's a little smoke in the ceiling. They fired Mike Brown, but they've won their last 2 under interim Doug Christie. So tell me more about this.
I think this is more of an organizational thing. That I'm a fan of a lot of the guys on the team, but I think organizationally,
too many Chiefs in the room.
Yeah, it is.
Who's really calling the shots?
I know. Also, Doug Christie too. Yeah, 2 wins. Did you see he took his team up to the roof last night?
No,
after the game to be with the beam.
Okay.
To then give DeRozan the defensive player.
Jerk put that clip in.
I had hesitations heading into this season where the thing that the Kings were so good at was running up and down. Just playing like a quick, like you have a clear, again, back to roles and identity. They had a clear identity, and then they moved away from it. I'm a fan of DeRozan's game. I don't necessarily think it made a ton of sense with the roster construction that the Kings already had.
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe Mike Brown did lose the locker room and a shakeup was needed. I have a hard time looking at what the Kings were doing and then being like, oh, I mean, Mike Brown's fault.
Something's out there that Mike Brown may have asked DeRozan to come off the bench.
Mm-hmm. Can I, and maybe this is controversial.
Right.
I think if a team is struggling and the coach is trying to make adjustments, to me, that's coaching. And I don't.
But you can't coach in this league.
Yeah, there we go.
You can't coach in this league. The same way Charles Lee tried to bench LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
And, the fans got on him. It's unfortunate. You can't coach in this league. Yeah. I understand it. Trust me, Mike, I understand it. It's not, it's an ego thing.
Yeah.
The only player that I've seen do it is Russell Westbrook. He came off the bench, didn't fight it, didn't say anything, just did it, you know. But again, it's an ego hit. It is something that is just, that some players just are like, they just don't understand it sometimes.
Yeah.
Not even for the best of the team.
And maybe I haven't been elite enough at anything to understand the perspective. I saw those reports going around and everybody was like, oh, of course, well, you had to let him go. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, this team has been underachieving and underperforming. Yeah. And the coach is saying, like, we got to tinker with some stuff.
Well, that foul.
Yeah.
That foul on Ivy. That was very, and that's not a De'Aaron Fox mistake, man. Like, he usually doesn't make those type of low IQ mistakes. But he did. And Mike Brown held him accountable as the leader, as the star of the team. And, he was fired the next day.
Yeah.
Not saying that it was probably building up, which it probably was.
Right. I'm sure it wasn't just that one.
Yeah, it wasn't just that one situation. But if you can't coach your team, then why are we coaching?
Right.
Like, that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. And I wonder, too, maybe we get like a couple months from this, there's maybe Mike Brown in the back of his mind, a little relief to not be dealing with it.
Sure. I mean, as De'Aaron Fox said, the check still clears.
Dude, that was an incredible quote.
Oh, I mean, it's not the end of the world. He still gets paid.
Yeah.
You know?
That's an incredible quote by De'Aaron Fox.
I mean, I liked how the reporter, basically added guilt as a trigger word for him to get the reaction. It was golden.
Yeah, it was.
Truly.
It was.
So, we're moving on to player of the game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 36.6 points per game over the last 5. Thunder have won the last 12 straight, and 16 out of the last 17. You know why they're 16 out of 17?
You count the cup finals?
Isaiah Hartenstein.
Oh, yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards has a great quote here. He says, I hope they give him MVP. He should have been it last year, but this year for sure. And then, I also have Tyler Herro listed here. Besides getting tossed by Amen, he's averaging 24, 5, 5, and single-handedly keeping the Miami Heat in contention.
I mean, first, was it your friend's name Sarah, who's the OKC fan? That's 2 OKC mentions by the national.
We need an OKC counter, Jerv. Add that too.
First of all, Shai, we've talked about them so much. MVP, he's been incredible, and he's cool and fun. I'm excited that he's getting a little bit more of the limelight. Let's get him on national TV a little bit more.
Yeah.
There's no reason we can't flex this around. Let's get more OKC on TV. They're fun to watch. Tyler Herro, though, I mean, that Amen Thompson back and forth was hilarious. I haven't seen anything like that in a while.
Yeah.
I thought Herro immediately after reminded me of like a kid getting hurt and then being mad at everybody around him, being like, I'm actually fine, I'm fine. The way he was like saying, like, you lost, bro, you lost, like that. But his quotes after the game were awesome. Like, I did love that, where he was like, yeah, man, I'd be mad too if I was getting scored on and dimed up and getting the whole thing.
No, he's leaning into it.
It was great.
It was great. You know what I mean?
But Miami, just like, the only thing you knew about Miami Heat basketball this year was the saga going on with Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
You would probably think the team was in like some dire straits, right?
Yeah.
And they've kind of been playing like quietly a little bit better basketball. And it's not because of Bam. It's not like Bam is burning the house down right now. Yeah. It's Tyler Herro. He's been playing awesome. Yeah. And like we were saying earlier, he's all-star lock.
I mean, about time. We've been waiting on this. We've been waiting on this, and it's good that he didn't go backwards.
I agree.
I think he dealt with some health stuff. I think he was trying to figure out where he belongs in this rotation, adding new guys. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe the Terry Rozier acquisition last season like lit a fire a little bit. It was like, hey, we went and got a guy that does the thing that you do too.
Yeah.
And he responded.
Also, y'all need to apologize to Shams.
Yeah, that's true, man.
He was right. He was right. He was right. I know. Listen, Bernie. Just let's make it happen.
Yeah, that's funny. No one's brought that up.
Yeah.
No one has brought that up. That Shams was pretty much dead on. And like on Jimmy for just a minute. Like I don't understand. I don't know where the move is.
Free Jimmy.
But where? Like
don't matter.
Yeah.
Free him. He feels like he's a prisoner. Let him go.
Yeah, I don't know what team has like the right pieces or just.
I don't know. He demands a lot, but Phoenix might be a good spot for him if they can move him.
Yeah, and then it's gonna be for Beal though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Beal has to waive his no trade clause.
Yeah.
It has to make sense. And yeah, I mean he could support a Tyler Herro.
He could.
And add 3-point shooting. All right, it's time for Trey's Magic Minute. P5 is ramping up. He has returned to competition, reconditioning phase, and despite the injuries, they are 4th in the East. Well done, Coach Mosley. That's my Coach of the Year favorite right now. Even though I know, Mazzulla and Atkinson's and
even the Ime Taylor Jenkins shirt.
Mike D and OKC.
We can give them all a round of applause. The fact that Orlando is still as competitive as they are right now. I mean, they beat the Celtics a week or two ago.
You know what? I don't want Mosley to win Coach of the Year because when you win Coach of the Year, you get fired. No, I take it back. I'm not campaigning for that. Anybody else can have it because I like Mosley there, but.
Second. You want him second for Coach of the Year.
Cole Anthony and Gary Harris, this is my call out to you guys. You're up.
Yeah.
You're up to you're due. Your good games continue to help us stay in the mix.
They rolled out a name I'd not heard of in the NBA who balled to like a week ago, Trevelin Queen. Immediately off the bench and was great for them.
Hey.
I mean, they are like, we have next man up, but they're like next man to the next man up.
Look, we got so many guys that we could just move. Jet Howard, you know what I mean?
Anthony Black. I love Anthony Black.
Oh, Anthony Black's here to stay.
Yeah. Oh, you mean move in a
Yeah.
trade, Also, Tristan Da Silva. Like,
Tristan Da Silva stepped in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
We call him Baby Fron.
I thought the Magic Minute was cursed because every time we did one, they lost a player. But the fact that
That's not my fault.
No, but they just keep winning. They keep winning.
Hey, man, it was no fluke that I became a Orlando Magic fan this year.
Yeah.
And the magic has happened.
That's right. I'm telling you, if they stay healthy, they are going to be a terrible matchup for anybody in the East in the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to run through the East, but no one is going to be like, oh, thank God we got Orlando in the first round. That is going to be a dogfight.
And on that note, that's been Hoop Sense.